Broadcasting live. It's America's longest running talk show on computers. It's Computer America, bringing you the biggest names in technology with guest interviews, new products, and your emails. Listen live at computeramerica.com on any device around the world. Email the show at live@computeramerica.com or find us on social media. Be sure to check out our website for contests, giveaways, show notes, live video stream, podcasts, and more. You're listening to Computer America.
Hello and welcome everyone into the Computer America Show. We are the nation's longest running, nationally syndicated radio talk show on computers and technology. Everyone, I hope you're having a fantastic day. So today on the program, we have the one, the only, Mr. Ralph Bond. He joins us now every single Friday. He's been very consistent with that. And yeah, he comes to us with a ton of different stories. This one's going to have some CES stories from last month, which I'm perfectly, I was thinking about this just this morning. I was like, it did happen a month ago, and Ralph is usually, very timely with his stories. But I got to say, CES is very unique because what you see at CES, either you won't see for 10 to 12 months, or you won't see ever. So honestly, what happens at CES is newsworthy for much longer than a regular story. But there's also some other things in there. You're going to love it. ComputerAmerica.com. That's where you'll find everything, including past shows, future shows, everything you need to know, and of course, link to Ralph's site in the show notes. And really, the show notes are your one-stop shop for everything Ralph does. He puts a lot of time into producing them, making them look good, making them easy to navigate. And yeah, you're definitely going to want to check those out. Now, with that being said, let's go ahead and just jump right into this and bring back onto the program Ralph Bond. He is our science and tech trends correspondent here for the program. And Ralph, welcome back onto the show. How you doing?
Hey, it's great to be back. And I'll tell you what, in a world of tensions, Ukraine might get invaded, sobbing skaters yesterday from Russia, I saw let's that. Let's have some uplifting science and technology news to help us get through all of this with some hope.
Absolutely. And you're going to break it down for us very, very well. And I always like doing this because this is all, for me, it's like right before the weekend. And it's a great way to just relax on Friday and head into the weekend in a little bit better of a headspace than, like you said, what is the latest hack? What is the latest killer robot? What is the latest, massive corporation takeover? None of that. This is going to be fun. And Ralph, why don't we go ahead and I guess just start with the news.
Yeah. Well, so what we're going to do this week, as Ben told you, I'm going to share with you some things that I saw last month at CES, not personally, but online and so forth, that really caught my eye that I thought were particularly interesting. But then at the very end, for story number 5, I do have kind of a robotics advancement story that has nothing to do with CES, but it's really a lot of fun. So our first story here is world's first 8K laser TV. We'll explain that. Debuts at the Consumer Electronics Show. And for this story, I kind of dug deep. I went into 3 different resources: AI Business Magazine, Advanced Television Magazine, and Tech Radar. And I've got the links, as Ben said, the links and everything's right there for you if you want to dive deep into this. So here we go. So, of course, we all know that due to COVID, CES was reduced in size, but regardless of that, a ton of amazing new products and technologies were showcased and previewed. To Ben's point, some of the stuff that was at CES last month may never come to market, might come to market in a few years. It's a great place for previews or prototypes and so forth, along with stuff that you're going to be able to walk into Best Buy or whatever and buy today. So, and no surprise, of course, TV technology was huge, always a big part of the show. And for example, the Chinese company Hisense, that's Hisense, so Hisense, revealed an 8K resolution capable version of its trichroma laser TV line, which they claim is the world's first. So remember, of course, 8K refers to a display resolution of approximately 8,000 pixels. That's double the current standard of 4K TVs you would buy at Costco or Best Buy or wherever you go. So wait a minute, time out. What's a laser TV? That's one of the reasons I did this story. I thought, wait a minute, laser TV? Okay, so actually, laser TVs are projectors. But unlike a traditional projector like the one in my home theater that throw an image across a room to a screen, a laser TV, those projectors are placed on the floor. It's really unusual. If you look at the image that I have, the kind of artistic image that's in the show notes, the device is on the floor, right at the base of the wall, holding a large screen, and they project the image directly upwards, which is a fascinating engineering stunt in its own right. And this new Hisense laser TV projector model can create displays up to 120 inches diagonally. Wow. So Hisense, it is, yeah. And Hisense and Epson, they use the term laser TV for a few reasons, one of which is also certainly marketing buzz, but also due to the fact that they feature built-in speakers, a smart platform, meaning they're like a Fire Stick or any device like that that has all your Netflix and Amazon Prime and all the different apps, right? So that's a smart platform. So they have built-in speakers, smart platform, and then the TV tuner. So really interesting. And the latest yet to be released, this is an example of, something that hasn't hit the market quite yet. Hisense laser TV system uses an artificial intelligence based, I thought this was really interesting, artificial intelligence based lightning fast 8K imaging chipset that analyzes every visual scene, get this, pixel by pixel to optimize the picture. What?
That's
wow.
And I'm just going to cut in here real quick and just say that that's super important because, buying an 8K TV, I think a lot of people might think immediately, there's no 8K content. But that little tidbit that you just did there means that you can watch 4K stuff and it'll look better than 4K in 8K.
Yeah, I would presume the same. Yeah. And it also contains 20,000 mini LED partitions to enhance definition and contrast. I would just love to see one of these things in action. Okay. Get ready for some sticker shock. The price tag for one of these babies is $1 under $6,000, so $5,999. But it's interesting technology, and Ben, of course, start off high price, so forth and so on. As things get mass produced, the prices and other competitors come into the market like Epson, it's inevitably going to come down. But pretty cool stuff. And I think even at that price tag, if you have a specialty situation, a convention center or a professional entertainment, a sports bar, there might be applications where 6K is not prohibitive for the return on investment relative to providing entertainment or a great experience for your audience.
Yeah, and really 6K for a very large TV. I mean, it is a different format, laser, like everything you described. But not to get too far into it, but I recall when Craig, way back in the day, bought one of the first LED TVs, and he bought it from Samsung. That thing was like 100. It was like 100K. Like when he first bought it, he spent a lot. Ralph, it was so expensive, and I guess they made so few of them that went like 5 or 6 years down the road, Samsung actually came back and said, "We'll send you a new TV. We want to buy that one from you and put it in our museum of our TVs."
Oh wow!
Because
cool.
They didn't make that money, and they just sold all the ones that they had. So, for new cutting edge technology, 6K is not that bad. It's pretty good.
Yeah. There's so much I love about that story. Again, learning about laser TVs. And one of the things that I presume, I don't know with a fact, but I'm guessing it runs fairly cool temperature. Why do I bring that up? I have a really nice Panasonic projector that's suspended from the ceiling of my bonus room and throws the image across to the screen like it is a traditional projector, but it uses a hot bulb.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like lava hot. And it just always bothered me to think about that heat and, of course, the energy that you need to drive that kind of bulb. My next projector will absolutely be not a traditional bulb
LED
unit, but I'm presuming this unit would not be a hot thing. And that's kind of cool, too, especially if it's sitting on the floor. You don't want your grandkids walking up there and touching this thing and getting burned. So
yeah, there you go. But no, you're absolutely right. Like LEDs just do not reach the temperatures that incandescent or those traditional bulbs do. Right. So heat's of course another big factor, and of course on top of that is longevity. So all that combined seems like it's I'm looking forward to maybe more of these because it's also kind of the form factor. When you turn off the TV, there's nothing on your wall. It's just a unit sitting on the ground. So you got all that wall space, for other things. So everyone, you can go ahead and check that out in the show notes. Again, links to all 3 different sources that Ralph used. But that was only story number 1. There's more. Story number 2.
The more. Yeah. So at CES, BMW, the car maker, of course, showcased a color changing prototype car. Now, immediate qualifier, Truth in Lending, right away. And by the way, I got the story from TheVerge.com, great outlet. When they say color changing, yes, literally, but it's only shades of gray and black and white. So at this time with the technology, but needless to say, though, the idea that you could change the color of your car, okay, where's this going to go? So if you've ever felt indecisive about what color vehicle to buy, BMW may someday, because this was prototype stuff here, have a solution for you. That is if shades of black and white and gray are a turn on for you, as we said a moment ago. And you know what I was thinking too, Ben, before the show, that it reminds me, see, I'm an old guy. I remember the mood rings from the mid 1970s.
Yes.
And you would put the ring on, and the inventors of the mood ring had this great marketing campaign where they claimed it would change
absorb
colors,
your energy,
reflecting yes, your mood.
Yes.
So this could be a mood changing car. Maybe someday, if they bring it out, they'll have a wrist thing, that Bluetooth wrist thing to the car, and if you're angry, it'll turn red or something.
It'll flash red, right?
Yes, that would be great. Okay, the only thing, I digress for a moment. The only thing I thought about after this story is that the bad guys would love this, because you could rob a store, jump in the car, change your car color, and people will say, "Oh, it was a white car." And you're running down the road in a red car.
That was a very common topic, but yeah, let's talk about it. And then, this actually won our Top Tech Award for Computer America. So we did a little bit of coverage of this already.
Great.
So we'll go over it again. Yeah.
So that's good. And folks, go back and look at that reference to get even more detail than probably what we have here. So this groundbreaking technology was demonstrated on a BMW SUV. It relies on electronic ink, or e-ink for short, the same electronic paper technology used in e-reader tablets. And the electronic ink used millions of microcapsules with a diameter equivalent to the thickness of a human hair. It's pretty tiny. Each of these microcapsules contains negatively charged white pigments and positively charged black pigments. Stimulation by means of an electrical field causes either the white or the black pigments to collect at the surface of each microcapsule, giving the car body the desired shade. And again, today it's just shades of gray, white, and black, but who knows where this technology will go? I would love to talk to one of the researchers at BMW to say, "Hey guys, what about color?" and see where they might go.
Well, yeah, and that was kind of what we found about, because they did this as a proof of concept. It's essentially having a giant tablet, all over your car. Ralph, you can imagine, like, even just a grocery store, and an errant cart comes by and assaults your vehicle. Could you imagine having to replace an entire screen, quote unquote, because it dinged your door? Not very feasible, but they are thinking about a future where, just like you said, what if you buy one car, family, one car, husband and wife, and the husband wants a silver car and the wife wants a hot red car. And, that would be a selling point for cars, is that, hey, you could change whatever color you want, whatever day you want. Like, it would be a more attractive kind of thing, because, hey, yeah, more colors.
Yeah, and how about this? Let's go futuristic, really futuristic on this. What if someday the basis of this technology evolves to the point where you could have, let's imagine something like this, a military vehicle that could see its surroundings, reproduce them on the surface of the car, and hence disappear? That would be interesting.
Yeah, no. There's and I was just looking something up. I mean, there's a show, I believe it's on Netflix, but of course there's also the anime and all that kind of stuff. But Ghost in the Shell, it's from like the 90s or something like that. And like the active camouflage that they, of give people. I mean, it's just like what you're talking about. Like, very similar. It's so futuristic, like, to see it in popular culture and media and stuff like that. But hey, we're inching forward to a future where, military applications, that's unfortunately where we have to kind of take a lot of your stories, because they are usually the first adopters, and they are, hey, some of the first investors in this technology.
Yep.
So active camouflage, absolutely. A car that matches your mood, a car that matches your color scheme that you want it for that day, could be in the future. Could absolutely be in the future.
Absolutely.
So story number 2, though, and again, that one with like 5 or 6 other products got our top tech award. But we gave that one because it was like an oddball. It wasn't like, it's not a feasible product. You probably won't see it in cars anytime soon. But it was a good application of an old technology that people just didn't think about, because Ralph, e-ink, it's been around forever, but no one's ever put it all over a car. So it was cool.
Yeah. It definitely caught my eye.
Definitely. So story number 2. Story number 3. Now, this is one where holograms, and I think that everyone remembers, the ones from the 70s and every other Star Wars after that have in some way used holograms. But we don't have those in real life, or maybe.
Yeah. This is a cool one. I don't know if you caught this story from CES or not, but it certainly caught my eye. Got this from USA Today, and the headline here is hologram technology inspired by Star Wars. It's kind of a tongue-in-cheek thing here. Could bring a new dimension to smartphones? What? I had to find out about this. So, and there's some great images in the show notes here, kind of giving you a sense of what this is going to be like. So here's another mind-blowing technology from CES, at least it was to me. Imagine seeing 3D holographic images and videos projected, or if you will, floating in the space in front of your smartphone. If you look at the show notes, the picture on the right where the woman is holding the smartphone and projecting an image of a house that she's considering to purchase, it gives you a good sense of what this is all about. Mm-hmm. So, and again, it's the Star Wars references. You remember the famous scene where R2-D2 is projecting Princess Leia on the tabletop there in a holographic form. That's what they're talking about. And again, the qualifier here is you don't need any headgear or goggles. That's another thing. Just what? I would love to see this in action. So at CES, a San Diego-based company called IKIN, I-K-I-N, demonstrated its prototype. Here's another prototype accessory that turns a smartphone's video or image content into 3-dimensional holograms. And IKIN's new hologram accessory for Android or Apple smartphones uses a specialized proprietary chemical polymer lens to create 3D holograms viewable even in daylight. That's another thing that just melts my mind. When it comes to market, consumers will buy an accessory attachment designed to match their smartphone's dimensions. And the pricing is TBD because, again, this is a prototype. But what an interesting concept. I think the business applications, like the photo that suggests looking at 3D views of a car or a house or a product or so forth, would be, I think, really the killer app for something like this.
And just when I was talking about, how we always have to think about military application. One of the first things on their website, this is from their website right there. They're looking at turning warehouses into almost like viewable 3D, I guess kind of renders, and you can see how much is inside each bay, what's inside each bay, essentially have people be able to look through the warehouse and see everything without having to walk through the warehouse.
Yeah, very cool. I mean, the applications are so many possible applications for this. Oh, that was a good image. You scroll down below the warehouse where the fella's holding the device, and then there's the gamer, the medical. Wow, right. Yeah, the applications. I'm so glad you're showing this, because it's just, at the time I did this story, they didn't have a lot of these images, and this is really great to see.
Yeah, for sure. It's
cool stuff.
Yeah, and obviously it's just to me, it seems like a lot of the applications that they have, it's like it's adding a screen to your already existing screen, but then you can manipulate the image within the screen, and that's what makes it a little bit different than just a regular smartphone screen. So very cool, though, and that is of course story number 3. Story number 4, though, I got excited just for a little bit. I'm very, very hungry, and I read Chipotle, so, but not quite. Chipolo, what is this?
Yes, Chipolo. So what we have here is not super exotic. It's clever. I think the reason I'm doing this story is not so much because it's super technical, forward thinking, but no, because I misplaced stuff. My glasses, fortunately not my wallet, but my glasses. And I go, where are my glasses? Oh, for God's sakes. Anyway, so the headline here is Chipolo's new credit card size tracker for your wallet. That's the app they have in mind. Features Apple's Find My support. Got this from Engadget.com, and you can see the photo on the right where the woman is holding it. It is, again, like
Super
a thin
thin
little credit card size device. So a great new way to track and find your wallet if you misplace it or leave it behind in a store was another nifty product at CES, in my opinion. The new, and the price I think is very good, $35 Chipolo Card Spot is the name of the product, is a super thin credit card size device that can be paired to the Apple Find My network. Apple's Find My network, of course, enables you to locate your lost Apple products as well as supported third-party products. And so once the card is activated, you can track your wallet and also get alerts on your iPhone if you've left it behind someplace, meaning if you've left your wallet with the Chipolo card in. And this is really something. And built-in mini speaker will chirp at 105 decibels to ensure that you'll be able to hear it when you misplace your wallet within hearing range. Wow, okay, that I want for my glasses, please, please. The Chipolo Card Spot's battery isn't replaceable. So after about 2 years, you'll need to replace the card itself. But the company said at CES, you can buy a replacement at that point in time for 50% off the $35 fee. So for $35, if I were still doing heavy business travel, I would absolutely have one of these things, because the idea of leaving your wallet someplace, it's like one of those recurring nightmare dream things.
Yeah, no, you really need your wallet to function in society, even just for identification purposes. And and you know, what was the feature of a lot of these kind of Bluetooth connected products and Find My products, Ralph, is that, you know, if you let's say you're sitting at a restaurant, you set it down on the table and you walk away, as soon as you're, within 20 feet, whenever you're about 20 feet from it and you have it set to the right setting, it will start to chirp and be like, hey, you forgot your wallet. You know, it's not like, oh yeah, your wallet is 14 miles away and we just now alerted you. Congratulations. Nope.
No, right.
Very, very helpful. And $35. I think that's the best part about this. I mean, I was even looking at one of these for for a family member that leaves their wallet behind all the time, and 35. That, like, devices like this, especially the form factor, are usually $70 or $80. Like that's a really good price. So good pickup, Ralph. I'm imagining a future where wallets, instead of having a card like this, you can buy the card with that already inserted into the wallet. Like it's like manufactured into the wallet.
Built into the wallets, and purses too, you would think would be good for something like this, obviously. So
I would imagine that that's kind of the future that we're heading to when it gets, longer battery, more efficient, that kind of thing. Like these things would just have trackers in them, because who wants to lose their wallet? There's never a time when you don't want to know where your wallet is. So
amen.
And so from Chipolo card to story number 5, and you're right, you threw this in here at the end, and this is a story that you bring up every so often. We find every so often, and it's this uncanny valley kind of thing that robots are still competing with. Have we made progress? I guess that's my question with this story.
Yeah. And again, we're going to leave CES for now. That's kind of a little fun bonus story this week. The headline here is researchers have created a soft, lifelike, and I would add expressive, robotic face that will respond to your facial expressions. So it's not just that this thing can make facial expressions, it's also responding to you, which that's the part that really got me excited. I got this from Mashable, and you can see a video, you can see the pictures that are in the show notes. The video, I think, is really cool. So many futurists are predicting that in the not too distant future, humans will increasingly interact closely with human-like, or if you want to say humanoid, robots in factories, offices, hospitals, etc., you name it. I think one of the interesting things is the idea of robotic attendants in healthcare facilities, like rest homes for the elderly and so forth, or God forbid, poor people with dementia and so forth. This might be a helpful kind of thing, but I digress for a moment here. So the key to success, the experts believe, is to have humanoid robots that will make their human coworkers feel more comfortable. And one way to do this is to give humanoid robots lifelike faces, of course, with the ability to appropriately, here's the key, with the ability to appropriately react to the facial expressions of their human colleagues or the people they're interacting with. And with that goal in mind, after 5 years of work, researchers at New York City's Columbia University have created a new robot face prototype named EVA, I'll just call it EVA, which has a soft and expressive face that can respond to the emotional facial expressions of the human it's interacting with. So there's some real intelligence going on here. EVA's flexible face, yeah, that's the key. EVA's flexible face can express anger, disgust, fear, joy, sadness, and surprise, as well as many other nuanced emotions. And here's the, if you're an mechanical engineer, this is the part that'll appeal to you. To make this possible, artificial internal muscles made using cables and motors are used to pull on specific points on Eva's face, mimicking the movements of the more than 42 tiny muscles attached at various points to the skin and bones of human faces. There's a factoid for you. 42 tiny muscles in our faces. Wow. Mm-hmm. Eva uses her robotic eyes and an advanced computer system aided by artificial intelligence to read and then respond to the expressions on human faces it encounters. So that's part. I mean, it's one thing to make the mechanical face and the little muscles and the artificial muscles. That's all great and groovy. But the fact that it can look at you, the artificial intelligence system, the visual part of it, can look and see that, oh, Ben is sad and respond appropriately is, to me, a remarkable achievement.
Yeah, my first reaction whenever I saw this, the video and demonstration was I thought that they were, filming a person and then they were putting that emotion onto the robot. Whatever the person was feeling, it would do that. But no, it was more like you said, it was responding to the emotion on the face. So it's not a clear one-to-one. If eyebrow goes up, that kind of thing. No, it's trying to imitate the emotion of it, and that's. Ralph, there's actually a pretty big move to get robotics to understand emotion because so much of what humans do, everything from phone trees to robots, emotions are huge for people, and they're trying to make technology understand that. So it's still very, very cool to see. The blue kind of puts me off, but I guess it's easier to track on camera or something like that. And by the way, robotics, just real quick, kind of a story for me. Ralph, you were saying kind of in the healthcare industry, the medical industry, that kind of thing.
Yes.
Here's another robot that, kind of leapt to mind because, being able to do a very simple job. And I wanted to bring this up because even without a human face, it doesn't take much for a robot to have real, tangible benefits. Like people who depend on this kind of care and who interact with them daily, they start to form a bit of a not like a rapport, but like a relationship that people love to impose their feelings on things. People have favorite trees. They like to impose on their car different emotions. This is a good example. It's called Kubo. Qoobo. And Ralph, you can see the pictures here for everyone else. Imagine a whoopee cushion. Kind of similar. It's it's a round pillow with a tail, and the tail is meant to imitate a cat, and it uses machine learning. There's little motors and everything like that, and they're trying to mimic the movement of an animal tail. And Ralph, it sits in your lap, and you pet it just like you would an animal. And when you pet it, it responds to your petting with the tail flicking. And they used it in kind of elderly care and stress reduce in
there you go. Kind of 30, I love
30 somethings. So far they're saying it works, and it works very, very well. So
how cute and how interesting you just got to anything that is for therapy or healthcare or any of that sort of thing. Applaud. I love it.
And really, again, my point with this was that it doesn't take much, and any small advancement can really bring a lot of joy to a lot of people. Ralph, I think you did that here today, and I want to thank you so much for doing that. This has been a great. I know it was a recap of CES, but a lot of these stories we did not cover ourselves, and I want to thank you for coming on and sharing that with us.
Hey, it's always a blast.
All right, our pleasure. So now, everyone, of course, next week, Ralph should have a new batch of stories. And we'll be back same time, same place, and getting back to science and technology trends. Everyone, thank you so much for tuning into the program. And until next time, have a great day. Thank you so much. And have a good one. Bye, everyone.